Hi, my name's Johnathan Owen. I'm a solutions architect with Wolf Vision based in the UK. Thanks for joining us for this session. I'm going to be talking to Rene Gramer, who's based at our head office in Austria, who's an IT consultant who supports customers and integrators across the globe. So this session is a kind of useful insight into Rene's role, what he sees on a typical day, and some of the challenges he helps customers and integration partners overcome. Thanks for joining us, Rene.
Thank you. Thank you for the introduction.
No.
Well, I'm an IT consultant for Wolf Vision. My role here at Wolf Vision is actually just helping customers. Means technical support, extending and helping out in sophisticated environments, training, documentation of our products, trying to make sure that the sign-up, which offers a lot of functions and services, can actually be used in an optimum performance and an optimum kind of setting.
Okay, yeah, and I guess that includes quite a lot. So from the customer side, our integration partners and consultants all kind of coming to you for information about how to kind of implement the solution, and then obviously activate the features that Sign Up offers. So Sign Up covers quite a lot. We've got a family of 4 products now. Our main Sign Up is the most feature rich. It covers everything from recording, streaming, video conferencing, webcasting. It's a really kind of dedicated AV appliance that sits on the network, so very network centric. So with that, obviously there's challenges around integrating Sign Up into a customer's network and activating those features. So over the past few years, you must have seen a huge shift in the types of requests you received and the kind of challenges that customers face.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I would put that into 2 phases. Phase 1 was actually just the beginning, where Sign Up didn't offer that many services as it supports right now. Back then, it was, how does actually multicasting work, and what is actually streaming, and how can we use that within our maybe limited infrastructure environment? Whereas over time, I would say we are entered phase 2, where Sign Up is offering way more possibilities when it comes to streaming. And secondly, I think the whole AV industry started to move more and more into AV over IP and using unicast, multicast streaming, and vice versa. I mean, back and forth and in all kinds of direction, using webcasting, using all these kinds of different, I'm not naming them, all these protocols. I don't want to bore you. All these different protocols to make sure that the content is being shared with just one, a couple, or with a lot of people to be able to see the content, what's being presented on a sign-up. And based on that, from phase 1, where multicasting actually was kind of a mystery and how does it work, up until now, well, we would like to choose the optimal one for the best kind of performance to target all the audience that we have in mind, to who should see actually the content, like webcasting with on YouTube, or be now on Zoom to just have a group call, or just doing a plain old AirPlay session from a MacBook to Sign Up, which is just sharing it with maybe a couple of people in the room.
Yeah, great. So prior to joining Wolf Vision, I used to work within the education sector, and I had lots of manufacturers come in and demonstrate products to me and package their new shiny box and make claims it could do lots of wonderful things. So there's one thing demonstrating a product in a kind of, as a demo, so running through the features without integrating it onto the network, and then there's taking that product and fully integrating it. So that's where kind of you and the support team in Austria come in to assist, whether that's the customer themselves, exactly, the AV integrator, or the consultant. Networking is a big issue, and obviously convergence between AV and IT is huge. It's kind of happened, it's all around us, but there's still challenges that we all face in terms of differing levels of knowledge, certainly around networking when trying to integrate these appliances. So what do you face in terms of taking a sign up and putting it onto a customer's network? Do you see the same issues issues time and time again? Or is there any kind of tips you could offer?
Yeah, there are kind of some of them. Maybe I might be able to share one or two. One is, how do you get a protocol which was supposed to just work within one single VLAN, which one single kind of closed network, and just make it available on a campus where you have maybe dozens of networks, and make sure that a sign-up is being reachable from the other end and still works, and works with great quality. This is where we come in, where we have to recommend customers how they should set up the network, what actually is necessary to make it work. And the second one might be, how do you not just improve the quality of such a thing, of such a network of AirPlay sessions? I mean, that's just UAE. But more we realize, the bigger the installations, you don't want to have a perfect network where you see all your signups, because maybe you bought 500 signups. So in the past, it was just to make sure that maybe your signups, your 10, 20 signups, are visible on your iPhone. Now it's being with the signup being multiple times installed on your campus, to make sure that when you move from one faculty to the other, from one building to the other, that you only see the one that you actually want to, and not 500, just the 10 that are within the same building. These are the challenges that we now face. That in the beginning it was kind of we don't know how to use it, and we just tried, and now we know to use it, and we want to use it more. So,
and what's your probably a difficult question. So in terms of kind of your relationship with AV integrators and kind of installing the products, obviously there's lots of different ways you can configure a sign up on every type of network. So how do integrators kind of get the best out of the product, and kind of what process should they follow for a successful installation, which ultimately results in less support requests back to them, or even support requests directly to yourselves? Because I know we deal directly with many customers.
Okay, well, that's I hear that. I hear that quite often. How do I set it up? It usually, I mean, I'm sorry if I say so. It depends, but I think a safe bet actually is starting with the sign-up core or with the sign-up. For one reason, the sign-up itself offers sign-up and sign-up core. They do offer two Wi-Fi chips. Means two Wi-Fi interfaces, one dedicated for Miracast only. The benefit of having this second Wi-Fi chip inside gives you the possibility to run Miracast or wireless display on Windows, which still covers, I guess, 80–90% of all users worldwide, to work in wireless mode, in wireless direct mode, in peer-to-peer mode, and in MS Mice mode, the new mode, the extension of Microsoft, who also makes it possible to have the video stream run over the internal network and not just as a peer-to-peer connection. This gives you the possibility to use both at the same time, and it will always work. Whereas if you only have one Wi-Fi connection, you have to choose. It still works, but it's, I think, for a faster integration with less problems, because maybe you have, for example, your Windows build does not support MS Mice. You're running on a build which is not on 1703. Sorry for going into too much into details, but you face issues. You face more issues if you only have a single Wi-Fi chip included in your sign-up, or whatever product you're using for a Miracast.
Okay.
And yeah, so the access point mode, just have that enabled for your customers. And with your LAN connection, Ethernet connection, tie that to your existing network. I think that's the more or less the kind of the nicest, the most comfortable ones, where you end up with almost no issues. I mean, almost no issues. Almost no issues for us doing global support. You won't face issues. We only hear of the bad ones because they have an issue, and usually it's some networking issue. If you have no issues, you never call, because it just works. Yeah,
I guess the other thing too. So when I joined Wolf Vision this year, I completed the sign up accreditation that our AV integrator partners complete to be an approved partner. So that's something I know that you've developed through our learning management system. So I'd certainly recommend that to any integrators installing Synapse to kind of complete that, because that's a really good overview in terms of how to implement Synapse on the network and some of the kind of features Synapse offers. So I guess if people have kind of used the training materials that are out there and understand the product more, then I guess the number of support requests ultimately falls. So that's certainly worth looking at.
Yeah, that's a great advice. I think a lot of issues happens usually during first-time projects where partners are getting used to the product first, and you have to take care of audio, video out, whatever. And there's also a Synapse, and the Synapse consists of a lot of networking configurations. Means it's maybe extra time that you have to plan. And if you don't know how the product works, you have to call us. And we're happy if you call us, because we'd rather help you out before you run into issues than having maybe the product does not fit, maybe the product has been used but not properly configured. It's just wasting a lot of time and energy for all of us. So if you know more about the product, that's way easier to just finish a project, not just on time, but with a very happy and satisfied customer.
Yeah,
I would say that 90% of the cases that we do are first time installations. Once it runs, we do testing, our stuff in-house. Yeah. It's not just we don't develop and then send it out. We have a kind of rigorous testing. So
another couple of points, I guess. So Rene's produced lots of documentation. So on a couple of topics specifically. So one is third-party controller integration. So using the Synapse API and interfacing it with third-party controllers from AMX, Questron, for example. There's a huge amount of resource online for that, so I'd certainly recommend reading that if you can. And the other kind of key point is, so Rene recently recorded some webinars as part of our webinar series, which is now available on the YouTube channel. So that covers a more in-depth look to Miracast specifically, and kind of practical tips on third-party control. So you've got the option of reading the manual, which is very detailed, and then you've got a webinar to back that up, so you can kind of experiment in your own time. So two tips there, and useful resources to check out. So moving on then, Rene. So obviously lots of challenges around networks. Every network can be different. I think we're quite proud of the fact that we can configure our devices in lots of different ways and make them work on any network, however complicated or simple that network may be. I guess the other key point when you're talking to customers is security. It's becoming more and more important. We read about it in the news daily, it seems. So what do we do at Wolf Vision to tackle security?
Well, we do a lot actually, and sometimes actually it gives us, or in other words, let's just rephrase me that because I say something, I don't want to say something wrong or stupid. Security, I think, is one of the most important things, and it is one of the things that has the biggest priority. So safety comes always first when it comes to collaboration. You're sharing all these information over a network, and you can never be sure who's in between, who might be able to encrypt something, who might be able to just have a look into that. There's, I know, countless possibilities on how to hack a system, but whereas whenever we send out something, we want to make sure you get the option to make it as secure as possible. So, for instance, AirPlay has its own, based on protocol standard already, encryption on its content itself. You are able to encrypt the data connection. I mean, just the wireless or the wired connection. The whole thing, nothing is being stored on a Synapse, so you cannot just put data on it. The firmware that is being included is signed off with a signature, so you cannot just use any kind of firmware. The drive has been encrypted, if you like. You can just leave it unencrypted, but if you take care of its security, you can encrypt it. It won't have any effect on performance. It might be a little bit bigger loading time when you start it up, but that's it. You are able to even, you might have noticed you are able to control the SANAP using a browser. Everything is based on HTML. So that means you are able to restrict the interfaces where you can access a SANAP on which interface. So a lot of all these thinkings, whenever we come up with a new feature, we also have to think, is it secure? Can it be hacked? So we do regularly get penetration tested by universities, organizations. I don't want to name any of them, but we challenge or we just welcome them. And whoever finds if it's still possible to find a flaw, please share them with us. We do everything to make sure the SANAP system runs in a very, very secure way. I mean, it's as I said, it's a Linux system. Only services and applications that are being in use for a SANAP are installed, nothing else. So it's kind of restricted. So we make sure that everything not just runs very performant because we don't have any access applications installed, but just the ones that we control.
Great. And I guess there's lots, it's a big topic, security, and we've got a document on our website which kind of outlines our kind of security implementation as well. So lots of reading materials there online as well. That's useful. Okay, so going back to support again, Rene, and kind of things you're seeing at the moment. So have you seen any change from customers or partners in terms of the types of requests for support that you've received in the past 3 months? Obviously, a lot's changed. Lots of people are working online. People are using our products in different ways. How's that had an impact on the support you're giving?
Well, I would say people have always been very creative when it comes to SANAP because it offers all these functionalities and you can set it up in so many different ways. What I noticed, what I do notice is that the questions that become more precise. Before it was multicasting, as I said, is not working. Now it's something like, it's actually great, multicasting's working, everything's fine. Can we do something about, in the V-solution matrix, for example, can you do something to improve this or that with this and that function? So it's kind of a way more precise, and you realize that customer made a lot of experiences with the SANAP already, and they don't want to have the daily problems that AirPlay is not running, and did it ever work with your product kind of questions, moved more into like, we would like actually to reduce latency on AirPlay. Do you have any tips to reduce, to make the network faster? Things like that. So it goes more into details, and the questions are becoming more specific. And you can realize the experience that the AVI industry as a whole already made, so that you don't have to deal with the basics anymore. It's now just going directly into deeper levels. Yep.
Right. And yeah, certainly in my experience in the past few months in the UK, lots of requests for Zoom integration, Microsoft Teams, WebRTC. Obviously, people are being forced to move their teaching online, reduce teaching capacity in rooms. So that means they sort of stream out to students in other parts of campus or remotely at home. So that's certainly what I've observed in the last couple of months.
Yeah, that's obviously, yeah. I hear that too, but I think it's not a new function for Zoom is, but webcasting, sharing content over Wowza or YouTube has been on a SANAP for I would say many years now. So, but now it has become more kind of a concentrated topic because everybody realized the positive that some of the functions have already been put into SANAP, and now they start using it. So when it comes to a SANAP demonstration, usually you have to think, what do I leave out? And not because if you activate everything, it could be overwhelming for you because you have streaming, you have recording, you have a annotation, you have a whiteboard, you have a video player, you have an office player, you have a browser, and I could go on for maybe 5 to 10 minutes without even going into deeper details, like when it comes to streaming, what kind of streamings that we do support. Yeah. So when
so I was going to say, in terms of sign up, I get that there's possibly a misconception that sign up's just another BYD appliance, whereas BYD is one small part of a whole suite of features. So it's a central networked appliance that supports recording, streaming, lecture capture, webcasting. Yes, we do a very good job at wirelessly presenting from any device over the native protocols, but that is just one element, and therefore there's a huge amount of configuration options available.
Well, we have to make sure that, for example, if you're using Miracast and somebody's just calling in from somewhere else, or somebody being present without any computer, just a USB with thumb drive, or maybe his own cloud login, all of them can participate and work together on the same platform. I guess kind of a local collaboration space. So that's it.
I guess sign up's quite unique in that respect. So obviously, bring your own device is a well-known term now, but I guess bring no device is something that sign up supports, because you can you heard it here first. Okay.
Well, you still have to remember your user ID and password, I guess.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've covered off kind of some of the challenges that Rene faces on a daily basis, what's changed in recent months, what you can all do to kind of learn more and gain more information. I hope you've all found this a useful session. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the Virtual Collaboration Experience event. It's a great program. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Rene, for your time, and I'll let you get back to dealing with our customers.